Alright guys, what is up? This is PVM Vertigo, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, and this is the start of my new series. It's going to be called Kerbal Colonization, and basically it's a modded series of Kerbal Space Program in which we're going to be going to every single planet, every single moon, and setting up bases and basically colonizing them, and then using their resources for our own needs and stuff. So we're starting here today, basically just from the beginning. So right now we just have a capsule basically strapped on to a solid rocket booster, and it's going to be heading probably into the ocean, hopefully. I mean, this is all going to be post-commentary, just because live commentary would be too hard for like fast-forwarding things and stuff and cutting up segments, so this is better. And right now we have Jeb+Valentina coming out of the pod. He's going to get some EVA science and then get back in. So yeah, this is heavily modded. I will put the mod list in the description. I have it as a Google document. You can view it and basically see what I've done to this game right now. So right now we're lifting off at a very high amount of G-force, and we're gonna get some science. Science is key. Remember, it's science mode. It's not career like it was last time. I felt like my last series was good, but it wasn't as good as it could be, mostly because of the fact that it was career mode. And the fun system, I had to do more of a grind in order to get all those like satellites in orbit, all those things landed and stuff. It's more of a grind than actually an explorational thing. It wasn't as fun to me as it would be now. Now is going to be a lot more freedom because there won't be funds, but you can still hunt down science because we need the science. We also have a new tech tree involved to maybe make the science system more balanced also. So right now we're coming down. We're going to enable the parachute. You can see the clouds in the background. Yeah, that's from Astronomer's Visual Pack. You know, standard stuff. Looks very pretty, though. And we also have real chute. That's why the parachutes are opening slowly. A lot nicer for bigger spacecraft. This one, obviously, is very small. Though it does have a lot of mystery goo strapped to it. We should get a fair amount of science from this. We're going to time warp. See those clouds go by. So yeah, basically this episode, we are going to try to get into orbit, or just out of space or something. Something good like that. Because it is a lot easier to get into space now that the Delta V requirements are down due to 1.0. So it should be possible. This guy's going to go out for a swim. Just nice little dip in the water, get some surface samples. And then we're going to recover it. So yeah, we're done with our first flight. So how much science do we get? That is the question. Alright, we got a fair amount of science. It's enough to definitely get new things. We can get a few nodes unlocked. Let's get some... We need bigger rockets. That's a big thing. So let's get that right now. That should be good. Alright, let's see here. Do we want the wings? Do we want more parachutes and life support? Which we do need for this, because you need to have food, water, and oxygen in order for your Kerbals to survive, now that we have TAC life support. So we might want some life support modules there. Maybe some inflatable parachutes. Oh, it looks like a good thing here. You got some decouplers. These are the big things, the engines, the tanks, all those. Those are very powerful. Could definitely get into orbit with those, so let's just buy those. Alright. And we don't have enough for wings, that's okay. Here we go. This is the one. This is the launch that the Kerbals have been waiting for. The Kerbal Empire is basically taken over the entire world. Not much on the world, so they want to go to space. This is the flag on the side of that. The emblem of the Kerbal Empire. And they are ready to go. Time to finally break free of, well, gravity. Since there's nothing much on Kerbal, there's a lot more in space to harvest. Alright. So we're taking a nice little ride on a KW rocketry engine. Don't know which one it is. But it is one of the main lifters for the 1.25 meter section. And I don't know what that was. I think so. Oh, my antenna blew up, didn't it? Yep, that thing's gone. That thing is dead. Alright, yeah, I forgot to retract the antenna, but that's okay. We will be able to live anyway, so it should be a good launch. So we're going to be turning over early. You always want to do that. because of the fact that the atmosphere is a little bit different now. So you're going to want to turn over quickly and then end up going 45 degrees or so at 10,000 meters. I'm taking a little bit of a steeper angle. That's okay, because my top stage has a little bit more power to it. It can handle it. Also, I was a little bit scared right now because I do not have tail fins. Because if you have tail fins, you'll be a lot more stable. If I were to turn over earlier in the atmosphere, I might just like flip around and have some aerodynamic effects. That would not be good. I'm kind of taking the safe route here. But now we're on our way. We're on our way. Our first stage is almost out. And this rocket is going to be heading into the space, hopefully. Burning out right now, and there it goes. Stage separation is about to happen. There you go. Top stage is going to fire. Right after we get some quick science. So, that's what we're here for. I mean, the exploration is what our goal is, but the science is what's going to fuel the exploration. Keep in mind, this is an empire, okay? They took over the freaking world. So they have unlimited resources. So funds basically don't exist. They kind of just have them. They can build as many rockets as they want. So that's why I don't have funds this time also. And since they are an empire, they can build as big of a rocket as they want. So in theory, I could probably go anywhere with the engines I have. But, I mean, it would be very laggy. It wouldn't work that well. It would probably explode. And even then, even if I used like a huge barrel of all these small engines, I still couldn't make it out to the outer planets, because I do have the outer planets mod installed, and those planets are pretty freaking far away. So yeah, here we go. Moment of truth. About to break orbit. We have more than enough fuel. And I'm going to move this little taskbar because this thing is getting in the way. There we go. That's a lot more comfortable. Again, it is Jeb+Valentina Kerman at the helm. Hopefully, he can get us pointed in the right direction. Right here's where the apoapsis will be. Start burning. This should be an easy orbit. Alright. Our little engine is burning. This engine is more of a second stage engine. It's very good for making orbits and stuff. Transferring to moons, that kind of thing. It's not good for long transfer burns due to nuclear engines being better. And it being it's a little bit heavy. And it's not good for landing either because it's a little bit long. But it's perfect for what we need it for right now. I'm pretty sure it's the Vesta on there. So we also have a science bay. We are going to hop out and get some science. But the main thing is the science bay. We need that thing to not die when we come back home. Remember, there is re-entry heat now in 1.0. So, keeping that in mind, we may actually blow up a few things due to not having heat shields yet. But it's just wishful thinking right there. The capsule should pretty much survive. We do have parachutes on the top of this thing, don't worry. My goal is for the science module and the capsule to be light enough for the parachute to get him down onto land. I'm going to try landing on land because last time I landed a science module in water, it broke. Hopefully land will be more forgiving. I'm trying to figure out if I'm over land or not, and it turns out, yes, I am. So let's try to go for a landing here. Gonna point retrograde. That is the one with the 3 markers in kind of like a triangular dot position, opposite of each other. And right now I start to get spammed a little bit, so I had to pause. But same enough, we start burning here. And look at this thing go. It is bound for Earth, or Kerbal. It was bound for space, and now it's bound to bring Jeb+Valentina Kerman safe. Well, safe back home, that is. And this is a big mistake, okay? Arming the parachute, not a good idea. We should have armed it a lot lower, and you'll see why in just a second. So we're falling pretty much straight down here on an angle a little bit. But in all terms, pretty straight down. And we start to get some re-entry heat. In fact, we get a lot of re-entry heat, enough to fling us over with SAS. There's the parachute, and the parachute gets broken. I knew it would happen. And, well, that parachute's going to be of no help, and we have no fuel left. So we are like a flying meteorite. We got almost no fuel. I'm trying to stop us from burning up. Probably should have saved it for landing. It was a user mistake. But we are going pretty fast in the atmosphere. There is not a whole lot of hope right now. We're trying to just get ourselves pointed, get our engine pointed towards the ground. We're running out of time. We need to get this thing pointed in the right direction. And we are falling through the clouds way too fast. It's a little bit fast for my taste. 100 meters per second, like 200 meters per second. We're falling pretty dang fast right now. And there's the ground. It's way down there. We're falling way too fast. We're going fast. So this was not a good idea to arm the parachute that much. It completely broke. We can't even rearm it. And, oh, we're getting way too close to the ground. I'm trying to burn. We could run out of fuel real quick. Suicide burn. We're almost to zero. We're almost at zero, and it's not enough. And we crash, and Jebediah dies. That hurts. Alright. Time for part 2. This time, we're going to extend the antenna, and then we're going to put it back so it doesn't explode. Come on, antenna. Work it. Antenna. Antenna. There you go. And we have liftoff. This is the second launch of the orbiter. And hopefully it can do what its name suggests this time without crashing. That'd be very nice. And we're going to turn a little bit earlier this time because we realized that we went way too high on the first engine last time. So we can optimize this launch a lot better now that we had a failed launch. That's okay. But, we actually know what to do now. We know not to arm the parachute in the atmosphere, because if we would have done that on a more important ship, like one that was coming back from the moon, for example, it would have been a lot worse. But at least it happened earlier. Second thing, re-entry heat is not that much of a problem. I thought we were going to explode, but we didn't even need a heat shield. I think a heat shield will only be needed for coming back from another planet or maybe the moon or something. But for orbit, I think that without a heat shield would be just fine. So here we are, we're ascending. We're already at 15,000 meters. It's time to get excited because this might be our first ever orbit in this series. Well, I don't know, if not first ever orbit, but one that will come home safely. So yeah, we have the powerhouse of an engine back there, the main engine of its class, giving all the thrust it can, and we're there's the moon over there. Stage separation. Look at how nicely that stage falls. That's really pretty. All right, so there's the moon, right in our sights. One day we will get there. Maybe a few episodes from now, but one day. Yeah, so here we are, burning, getting up high enough, or getting our apoapsis high enough. Is that a red dot? I think that red dot marks Kerbal Space Center, I think. Yeah, that's pretty different. I never saw that. It must be from a mod. It has to be, honestly. Okay. Apoapsis getting high up enough. And we're expelling a lot of fuel right now. Did we actually, was it more inefficient than, no, it's not more inefficient. We have a lot more horizontal velocity this time. We actually have a little bit more fuel than last time. So this might be more successful, and yep, there's the moon. That's a target. That's our next place to go, really. Either the moon or Minmus. Alright. So here we are getting to our apoapsis, and we have prograde selected, or not selected, but aimed at. I could use the little prograde symbols right there, but who needs them? Go full manual. So wow, we are actually rising in our periapsis fairly fast. We had a more efficient launch, so we didn't have to burn as long. Look at that. Here we are in orbit for the second time. Orbiter number 2 spacecraft is gonna do it. And we're extending the little antenna there because we can now transmit stuff due to it not being in the atmosphere. Remember, last launch we didn't have that thing because it actually blew up due to atmospheric forces. That's not a good thing to happen to your antenna. Alright, so we're going to transmit... Oh, the comms device. Oh, that's really weird. I have remote tech enabled. Maybe for some reason you cannot... I'm guessing you can't do this. You can't transmit from this far away. Maybe it's too far away or something. I don't know. Maybe do I need satellites or something, or do I need a more? Maybe I need a more powerful antenna. Probably what I'm trying to point it at the ground now. I'm trying to point it at the Kerbal Space Center. Yeah, that doesn't seem to be the issue. It might just be too high, either high up, too far away, or the antenna is not good enough. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out for next episode. But for right now, we're not going to use it. That's okay. Who needs antennas? So we're just going to get some science. He went on a nice little spacewalk there. No Kerbal's really left to the vessel except for EVAing on the ladder. They have yet to actually walk around in space. Might do that someday. Maybe next episode. I don't know. It all depends. And I think in the coming episodes we might do some moon landings, some moon colonization things. And I think we also need to start planning out either a space station, which might be too far down the line due to docking issues, or we should start planning out like a satellite network, because this with remote tech, it's going to be a lot harder to transmit stuff due to the fact that it's just going to be a little bit harder due to antenna limitations and stuff. I don't know. It all depends on what happens. It all fall into place. Right now, we're returning. We're going to return from the atmosphere, hopefully for the first time actually successfully without burning up and then losing all our velocity and not having a parachute. We're going to leave a lot left over just in case the parachute, for some reason, was broken, not because I armed it or because it maybe like overheated or something. But I'm fairly certain that, I'm fairly certain that it wasn't because it got too hot. It was just because it ripped off due to high velocities or something or another. Alright, so we are entering very high up in space, high over the clouds already. The clouds actually, they look nice. I love the clouds, but sometimes it's hard to aim at the land. But I feel like that's kind of good because it gives more atmosphere of what it would really be like to enter the atmosphere from an Earth standpoint. I don't know. But all in all, they look really pretty. And right now, it looks like we're landing right towards a desert. That's really nice because I like deserts due to the fact that they are flat. You can land space planes on them. You can land landers. You can land freaking tall rockets on a desert because it's flat. I'm trying to point the engine right directly into the overheat, or the re-entry heat. And I think it's going to be successful because we are slowing down and we are not exploding. So this is already a victory in and of itself. Oh, we're getting a little bit of instability here. Oh, gosh. And we are coming down now at 17,000 meters. Pretty close to, well, the surface. Honestly, I think we're past the biggest barrier, so we're not going to burn up today. I think we're going to live. This might actually be the time when we come back alive. Let's see. Yep. Re-entry heat's going away. I think we've succeeded already. But it's not done yet. We still need to arm the parachute. We still need to land on this science. We're coming down. Only 12,000 meters to go. And, well, we even have the rocket engine part intact. I thought the rocket engine was going to burn off. Maybe the fuel tank. But I'm guessing the dynamics of the re-entry heating aren't that powerful, I guess. I thought that... Oh, it's a little bit of a glow there. Maybe for some reason the science module is heating up, but not the fuel tank. That's really weird. Okay, so there goes the parachute. I think the end is near. We're gonna be safe. Look at this flat desert. It's so beautiful. Coming down on these. Are those rain clouds? I don't know what those are. The grayish clouds. I don't know. And from the looks of it, using tack didn't really make a difference this launch, because we didn't really use that many resources. We used like 0.1 or 1 oxygen. We didn't really have to use that much food or water, so I'm guessing we shouldn't research tack, the life support thing. But if we have extra money, we might want to. And our carry stage is just getting destroyed down there as we float happily above. So yeah, the Kerbal Empire, they've succeeded in their third ever launch, and it looks like it's going to be a safe one. Alright, so we're coming down here. Ultimately, we survive. We break our science module apart, but that's okay, because Jebediah, or not Jebediah, whoever that is home. Because, I mean, Jebediah died in a fire, so yeah, that's a little bit not so happy about for him. But for us, the Kerbal Empire, third launch is successful. We're at 2 out of 3 right now, and we got a lot of science, even without the science experiment at the bottom. So we're gonna get some survivability, mostly because we needed landing legs for that landing of the science base. We kind of want those. We want the real chutes that are radial. We might want some better life support stuff, even though we probably won't need it. We might need it for the moon or Minmus. And we're also gonna have the parachute little inflatable thingy, because that thing's always cool. We also have service bays for satellites, and you'll see what I mean the next time we have an episode. But for right now, this is going to be the end of this, guys. If you want more of this, stay tuned, because I will be making more of it. It's going to be the biggest modded series I've ever done. Biggest Kerbal Space Program series ever. Biggest series on my channel, actually. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. This is going to be an awesome time. Thank you for watching this episode. I hope you watch further ones. This is PVM Vertigo. Peace out.